All right, guys, let's get started. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Another one of our free webinars as part of our series that we've been on together over the last couple months. Today is Friday, November 10th, 2023, and this webinar is brought to you by my Alpha Sales System. Yes, we got a new logo. Hope you love it. Got it here on my shirt. We're going to be coming out with some gear and merchandise. And yeah, I thought it's really cool. Shout out to Izzy for creating the logo. Izzy and the Busy, thank you so much for creating this logo and all your hard work on it. I appreciate it. Once again, thank you for being here and welcome. Our last webinar, guys, was super awesome. More and more salespeople and managers hopping on from all different dealerships. So what that says is it's really nothing about me and everything about you, that your continued dedication to hop on these webinars is contagious and it's growing. So I'm super excited to continue this journey together, and we're building our wolf pack one day and 1 week at a time. Q&A, guys, Q&A. Drop your questions in the chat. Shoot me an email. My personal email's in the chat. Hit me up on social, DM me, whatever you want to do. If you have a question at any time sales related, I promise you I'll answer it. We did some cool stuff on Facebook this week with Q&A. I asked you guys for some questions. I created content in response, and we're going to go over one of those questions today on the webinar. And Charles, if you could drop the link, guys, the first 5 people to fill out this form will get a free one-on-one sales training session with me. We could do it via Zoom. It could be a half hour. It could be an hour. It could be as long as you want to sit there, free sales training on anything you want to go over. Charles is going to drop the link, guys. The first 5 people to fill out the form get a free sales training session. And at the end, I have an exclusive offer just for you, just for my Wolfpack members. On today's agenda, guys, we're going to pack a lot into 30 minutes. 30 minutes, guys. We're going to pack a lot in. May run a couple minutes long. That's okay. We're going to go over everything. We're going to go over sales stats that you need to know in 2023 and why they're important to you. We're going to go over word tracks and closing techniques, my personal favorite. And we're going to go over a response to one of our Facebook Q&A questions that I think you'll really enjoy and find valuable. Quick message, guys, quick message. As always, I want to remind you, 99.9% of salespeople in the whole world, not just in the car business, in the whole entire world, in every industry, 99.9 are not carving out 30 minutes of their morning to dedicate to honing their skills and mastering their craft. If you are, which you are, you're one of the 0.1% of people that are, you should be proud of yourself. Just know that you're separating yourself from everybody else. There's probably somebody maybe right next to you in the dealership who's not participating, or in a cubicle down the hall, or wherever, the dealership down the street. You're pulling ahead from them. You should be proud of yourself that you're dedicating this time to mastering your craft. You're doing what you got to do now so you can do what you want to do later. Statistically proven, there's somebody down the street, maybe even in your store, that just quit, that threw in the towel because they couldn't hang in there. But those people typically, don't invest in themselves in the way that you are. So you should be proud of yourself, because I'm proud of you. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I truly believe that, and I mean it. And if you know me, you know I'm sincere about that, because I love nothing more than what we're doing right now. All right, guys, sales stats that you need to know in 2023. Okay, I'm going to take you through a little bit of a story here with these stats. And I want you to kind of connect the dots with me as to why these stats are important and what it means for you when you're with your customer, psychologically, what's going on with you and your customer. When you look at your results and kind of reverse engineer back on whether or not you made a car deal, I want you to think of these stats, because stats are real, right? People lie, numbers don't. These stats are real. Stats are stats for a reason. They're based off of experience and case studies and trial and error. So let's start with this, guys. In 2022, right? So in 2022, the average automotive buyer spent 14 hours and 39 minutes researching, shopping, and buying their vehicle. Cox Automotive said that, right? They're the biggest player. So 14 hours and 39 minutes doing all this research, okay? So they're doing all this research. Buyers are doing all this research, and they're more educated than ever, right? Buyers are more educated than ever. They know more than they ever did. Now, some people view the customer being educated as a weapon. It's like, they know so much, it's going to be hard to close them. I view it as a tool. For me, if they're educated, what does that also mean? It means they're prepared. They're prepared to buy. I'd rather have a prepared buyer who did their research, 14 hours plus, coming in. Even if they got the knowledge, that's fine. I trust our skills. I trust our ability to make it make sense. And I trust our ability. See, the knowledge they gain through research, that's something that's stored in their rational mind, the mind that is the same mind used when they start to debate the dollars and cents within the negotiation process. It's stored in the same mind used when they tell you they're not paying sticker price or above, right? That's their rational mind. But our job as salespeople is to get them out of that mind and get them into their emotional mind. And we use the example all the time, the same mind that when somebody goes to a nightclub is willing to pay 10x the cost of a bottle of vodka. They're willing to pay $500 for a bottle of champagne that's only $60. That's not their rational mind, it's their emotional mind. And they know the prices. They know the prices. So our goal is to get them out of that rational mind into their emotional mind. So we know they're educated. We know they've done their research, okay? So we know that they're spending a ton of time more than ever. And even after all that research, guys, even after all that research, 72% of customers, 72% of your customers will tell salespeople just like yourself and just like me that they're just looking at the initial greeting. So 72%, even after all this research, still say they're just looking. So that's weird. So they're doing all this research, but they're just looking, but you've been looking for 14 and a half hours. Like, what are you looking for? I'm pretty sure you found whatever you're looking for. You've been doing a ton of looking already. So we know this. They're doing all the research. They still say they're just looking, but 90% of customers purchase within 1 week of visiting their first dealership. So they're doing all the research. They're saying they're just looking, but they still purchase 90% of the time within 1 week of visiting their first dealership. 57% of consumers purchase within 3 days of visiting their first dealership, and 38% of customers purchase within 4 hours of visiting their first dealership. So see what's going on here? They're doing all this research. They're coming in. They're playing defense. It's a defense mechanism. Walls up. 72% are saying they're just looking, but they know what they're looking for, and they end up buying anyway. So if they're just looking, what are they looking for? They've done the research. What are they looking for? 72% they're just looking. They've done the research. They've been more prepared than ever, and we know they're going to buy soon. What are they looking for? They're looking for a salesperson, like Pistol Pete, bang, bang. They're looking for a salesperson. They're looking for somebody to sell them a car. Shout out to Pistol Pete. They're doing the research. They say they're just looking. We know they're prepared. What are they looking for? They're looking for you. They're looking for me to make it make sense. They're looking for us to mitigate their fear of regret. People aren't afraid to spend money. They're afraid to make a decision they're going to regret. And it's our job to make them feel as if they're not making a potentially regretful decision. They're looking for a salesperson to make a car deal happen for them. As much as they may be acting like they don't, the stats show that they do, because they're doing research. They're coming in saying they're just looking, but they end up buying anyway. They're looking for somebody like you to slightly give them a little nudge towards the finish line. Shout out to Pistol Pete. They're looking for a salesperson. That's what they're looking for, guys. They're not looking for an order taker. They're looking for a trusted advisor to hold their hand and guide them through the process. It may feel a little uncomfortable. It was for me when I first started, and I talked about that before, until I realized I was worth it. I was worthy of making deals happen and great things happening. I was carving out my precious time to hone my skills like you are right now, like I am right now. We deserve to make car deals, because guess what, guys? They're going to buy. They're going to buy. Do you want to show them how to buy a car, teach them how to buy a car ultimately so they could buy it from somebody else down the street who's not putting in the time, not putting in the effort? Hey, it could be that person's first day on the job. It could be their first day on the job, and your customer, I say your customer, because if you ever spoke to them, they're your customer to lose for life. I always think that way. Not even if I spoke to them. If someone told me about them, hey, I got a guy looking for, that's my customer. I'm not going to lose them to some schmuck down the street who's not putting in the time, who's brand new on the job, right? No offense if you're brand new on the job, because if you're brand new on the job and you're on this webinar, there's a good 90% chance that I hired you. But I promise you this, you put more time and effort in than 95% of the people that aren't on our webinars. You've already put the time in, so you are worthy. I mean brand new in the job and have no skin in the game, haven't dedicated themselves, haven't put the sweat equity in. Your customers are buying cars. Despite what the market says, despite what the news says, they're buying cars. Your dealership sold cars last month. How do we sell more? How do we sell more? We got to be salespeople. The order taking days, the sitting back, relaxing days, they're over, guys. They're over. So bang, bang. Shout out to Pistol Pete. Another stat, guys. Despite $1 trillion being spent each year on sales forces, so sales forces around the globe, there's $1 trillion being spent. $1 trillion building sales forces, training sales forces. Despite all of that, 87% of customers do not feel that the salesperson they worked with fully understood their needs. So despite all of that, 87% of the time, the customer doesn't feel like we understand their needs. So why is that? Why is that? Well, that's because statistics show that the average sales rep talks 65 to 75% of the time during their customer interaction. So during the interaction with the customer, 65 to 75% of the words that are spoken actually come from the salesperson, when really those numbers should be reversed. You should be listening 2 to 3 times more than you speak, but we do so much talking. We do so much talking because we're overselling in most cases. Remember, guys, silence is okay. Speak only if what you have to say improves upon the silence. Speak only if what you have to say improves upon the silence. We're always fearful about what the customer's thinking about. Uh-oh, they're in the tank. They're thinking they're going to throw some crazy objection at me that I don't know how to overcome. They're not. They're not. They're going to throw the same stuff, and we're ready to overcome them. Relax, calm down, listen more than you talk. That's why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? So customers, despite all the money we spend training and building sales forces, still think, almost 9 out of 10 of them, that we don't understand their needs because we're not listening. Studies have shown that the average person, 60% of the time when they're talking, is talking about themselves. So why are we talking? Let them talk. Give them what they want. Let them talk. Ask them profound questions. Ask your customer profound questions, and you're going to get profound answers, right? And not the basic questions. So, what do you think of the car? Oh, I like it. Use the visualization close. Ask them to tell you about what they think their first vacation or next vacation in their brand new vehicle is going to be. What type of problems do they see this vehicle solving that they currently have? Get them to talk about their pain points. Get them to visualize taking the kids to soccer or basketball practice and having all that extra space. Get them to visualize themselves at the pump, saving money and fuel economy by going to a hybrid, right? Visualization close. Get them to see themselves in the future. That will increase your closing percentage. That's a fact. That's a fact. Studies show that when your customer talks about them using your product, and in this case it being a vehicle, in the future use, closing percentage does go up drastically. That's a fact. Get your customers talking more than you're talking. Get them talking about themselves. Get them talking about their life. Get them talking about their future use of the vehicle. No matter what, find creative ways to do that. Them talking about the use of the vehicle, and your closing percentage will go up. Guys, think about this. 86% of buyers are willing to pay more for a great experience. We know that. We know that I'm willing to pay more for a great experience. Went to dinner last night. Didn't matter. I felt good when I was there. I like everything about the process and the experience, from getting greeted by the host, from being walked to my table, the whole bit. We pay more for a great experience. But here's the good part. According to research from a company, PwC, they do a bunch of case studies in the sales environment. They said that the more expensive the item, the more customers are willing to pay for that great experience. So we are selling the second most expensive item that our customers are ever going to purchase in most cases, right? Second to their home. The more expensive the item, the more they're willing to pay for a better experience. So we have leverage, guys. We have more control than you think, more control than anyone thinks. Right now, we have to hone our skills. We got to dive deep into figuring out how we can start to build stronger rapport, how we can get into the minds of our customers, and how we can create an experience that's different than the one they get every day. Different from, and albeit Chick-fil-A is pretty good, right? My pleasure, but different from going to fast food, different from going to the supermarket, different from going to, retail stores, Target or Walmart. We have to create an experience. They only do this once every few years, maybe 3, maybe 5, maybe 7, maybe 10. Maybe it's the first time they've ever done it. And a lot of times we get a little conditioned to it. We do it every day. So we kind of lose sight of the fact that, yes, we did this. We dealt with 5 customers today, but this customer, this is the first salesperson they've ever dealt with, or they've dealt with 5 salespeople. All 4 let them down, or all 4 were exactly like they thought they were. Uneducated, untrained, and not willing to give them the experience they deserve. We have to be able to do that. Said it before, stand by it. The bar's set very low for what we do, guys. It's very easy to exceed the expectations of our customers. Be a person first, then a salesperson. Be a person first, then a salesperson. They will always do for you more on a personal level than they ever will on a business level. Be a person first. Relate to them as a person first. All right, guys, couple word tracks we're going to go over. We got about 10 minutes or so. I told you I'm going to keep it quick, 10, 15 minutes, couple word tracks. Here's the scenario, guys. Let's say we hit a dead end on down payment and monthly payment, right? So let's say hypothetically, with $5,000 down, our customer is going to be $800 per month. But we only got $3,000 down and we got $700 per month, right? Here's a word track I'd like to use. Now, this is after I've already tried to get more money down, after I've already tried to get more payment, after I've already tried to go to a different term, maybe after I already tried to switch to a lease, or I'm already on a lease, maybe even switch cars, which I don't really love to do, because switching cars, it may lower the price and payments, but it also lowers the value, because the value is built in the product, not the price. So I don't like to switch cars unless it's last resort. I want to be on the right car from the get-go. Word track I love to use. Mr. Customer, if you had to choose, what would you rather be more flexible with? The down payment or the monthly payment? If you had to choose, I like to say that because I like it to be hypothetical, so they feel as if they're not being forced to choose. But if they did have to choose, hypothetically, yeah, I think if I had to choose, I'd probably be more flexible with the down payment. Then I turn that hypothetical into a reality. So I'm finding out if there is flexibility because their wall's down, because they don't feel like I'm trying to close them down. I'm talking down the line. I'm talking hypothetical in the future, right? Not right now, but I'm saying down the line, John. If you had to be a little more flexible, not today, but down the line, if you ever came back in and you really started to think about it a little bit more, would you rather be more flexible with the down payment or monthly payment? I give them the power of choice. I give them options, which we love as consumers. I empower them with choice, but within my parameters, but I force them to move on one or the other. So I'm going to grab money down, or I'm going to grab monthly payment. If you had to choose, John, what would you rather be more flexible with, the down payment or monthly payment? And I'll illustrate that on paper, guys. Those of you who have trained in person with me, you know I do that. I do a little filter chart, and I do that. So if you had to choose, what would you rather be more flexible with, the down payment or monthly payment? Get them to move, but do it based on their own choice. I need to sleep on it. Another shout out to Pistol Pete. I need to sleep on it. So we were in the dealership one day. Quick little story. We're role playing, right? We're role playing. Pistol Pete's next to me. He's to my left. We're training, throwing objections at each other. So I throw at Pistol Pete. You know what, Pete? You've been great, buddy. You've been great. But I just need to go home and sleep on it. Pistol Pete said to me, sleep on it? It's not a mattress. So shout out to Pistol Pete. No, it is not a mattress. I wouldn't recommend saying that to a customer. It is funny. Listen, there's a time and place for everything. Maybe you know well enough and you can say, but if I had to choose between being professional and a comedian, I'll always err on the side of being professional. But you can actually give a little humor there, and you can give a little realization with this close. I would say I totally understand that you feel like you need to sleep on it. Now, guys, you feel like you need to sleep on it. I'm not saying I understand they should sleep on it. I understand that they feel like they need to. So I'm not co-signing them sleeping on it. I'm co-signing their feeling like they need to sleep on it. I totally understand that you feel like you need to sleep on it, but don't you think you'll sleep a little better knowing you're going to wake up to your new car and not an old one? Don't you think you're going to sleep a little better tonight knowing you're going to wake up to your new car and not an old one? Semantics here, guys, but your new car, ownership, attaching ownership, right? Attaching ownership, futuring ownership, an old one, right? Not an old one, detaching ownership doesn't come off as smooth as waking up to a new car or an old one. But it's just those little things. Will it make or break the deal if I say your new car and not a new car? I don't know if it's going to make or break the deal. It might add 1 or 2 percentage points, but this is what we do. This is a game of math and probability. So I always like to say your new car, right? Futuring them getting a new vehicle, visualization, waking up to it. and not an old one, detaching it, old, negative connotation, right? So you need to sleep on it. Totally understand that you feel like you may need to sleep on it, but don't you think you'll sleep a little better knowing you're going to wake up to your new car and not an old one? So that's one that I really like, guys. That's one I really like. I need to talk to X. I need to talk to X, guys. All right, so we went over this before. I need to talk to my wife. I need to talk to my husband. I need to talk to the dog. I need to talk to, the person at Starbucks, whoever it may be. And there's a lot of different variations to this objection. This one is one that I, a little bit different than the ones we went over before. I completely understand that you feel like you may need to speak to your wife, right? Or your husband. I completely understand that you feel like you may need to, not co-signing that they have to, but that, I get it that you may feel like you need to, but I'm going to tell you why you don't. Let me ask you, do you think your wife will see the value in you upgrading your vehicle situation and solving the problems you're currently having? So think about that. If this third party is really their advisor on their side, why wouldn't they see value in them upgrading their vehicle situation and solving problems they currently have, which we can identify on the trade walk, right? Through the guest sheet, we should be identifying pain points all along, right? So let me ask you, do you think your wife will see value in you upgrading your vehicle situation and solving some of the problems you currently have? Do you think she'd see value in that, right? Another question I'd like to ask right after that, right? What do you think their favorite thing about the Grand Cherokee will be? What do you think your wife's favorite thing, her favorite feature would be in the Grand Cherokee? Oh, I think it would be the interior design. I think it's really, really sharp. Okay, what else? I'm on a piece of paper. I'm writing it down. I'm making a list of all the things his wife or her husband or her wife, well, whatever it may be, are going to love about the vehicle. What else? And what else? What else would they love? And what else? And what else? And after I get that list, I say, well, it definitely sounds to me, they'll see the value of the Grand Cherokee and really love it too. Right? Definitely sounds to me that she's going to see the value, obviously, and really love it too. So why don't we just make the deal happen right now so you can go home happy and she could be too? I'm going to make the deal right now so you can go home happy and she can be too. Right? So I'm explaining, like, she's going to be happy. You just gave me of all the things she's going to like about it. You just told me she's going to see value in you upgrading the vehicle and solving the problems. If there's an issue now, guys, you're going to find out, and it's probably not the car, it's probably the money. They're probably going to regurgitate it to you, or you can extract it afterwards, right? So if your wife sees value in you upgrading your vehicle, solving the vehicle problems, and you know she's going to love it, if it's not the car, well, what do you think? What do you think she'll think about the money? Yeah, you know what, Aunt? That's the thing. All right. Now we know, right? So, and guys, we don't want it to be the car. We want to be on the right car, right? If it's the car, then we got big problems. We got big American problems if it's the car. We want it to be the money, right? We want it to be the money. And then we go in, and then we grind, and then we grind. Chances are he can make or she can make the decision without the third party, whoever it may be, but there's an unspoken objection, and if we can't hear it, we can't handle it, guys. So there's a little bit of flow right there. Guys, I'm going to be posting the webinar Monday, a replay. So all of this will be on the replay of the webinar. And once again, we'll talk about later the university that I'm building. When I build and it's completed, we started already. We started filming. When I had the university, all of this stuff, it'll be in university library format, guys, video modules that'll take you A through Z on how to sell cars. You can rewatch them. We'll have little, tiny little quizzes at the end and stuff. It'll be really cool. So it'll be much more organized for you guys, and you'll have all of it. But this replay will be on YouTube on Monday, guys. All right, we're going to finish with this Facebook Q&A. We got about 5 to 7 minutes left, guys. One of the questions that was given to me, so last week I posted on Facebook and I reached out to all of my fellow wolves, all of our fellow salespeople, and said, hey, give me some stuff you want me to go over in content on this upcoming week, on webinars, on YouTube, so on and so forth. And Chuck, shout out to Chuck all over at Toyota of Turnersville, he had wanted me to talk about how to brand yourself and stay relevant using social media. So 4 little bullet points, guys. Branding has to be genuine. I think a mistake a lot of people make is they look at someone who's successful on social media. When I say successful, some views aren't everything, likes aren't everything, right? A lot of times it's a lot of sizzle and no steak, right? But they look at people and say, well, I want to be like them. But that person became successful branding themselves on social media or branding themselves as a salesperson by being themselves. So you can't brand yourself trying to be like them because you're not them. Be genuine, be yourself, whatever it may be, and be comfortable in your own skin. There's only one of you. There's only one of you. You shouldn't try to be like somebody else, nor should you compare yourself to somebody else. There's people in this space. I mean, let's think of Grant Cardone. He's the pinnacle. Started as a car salesperson, then sales manager, then went into dealerships to kind of help turn them around. Sales trainer, right? Got sober. All the things that I've done and I'm doing. I don't want to be like Grant. I love what Grant's built. Sure, what I want to accomplish the things he's accomplished, absolutely, but I got to do it my way. Another guy in the space, Andy Elliott. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of him. He's got his own little shtick, right? Love what he's doing in terms of building, kind of his evangelists and his team. I don't believe in some of the way he goes about it, and that's fine. He doesn't have to believe in the way I do things. I don't have to believe in the way he does things. Respect. He probably doesn't know me. He will someday, promise you that. But I'm not trying to be like him. Be yourself. Bring yourself. Whatever it is, stay true to it. Stay true to it. Don't flip-flop. Now, you can experiment with some things until you find your niche, find your flow, find your pitch, find your shtick, but be genuine. Branding has to be genuine. Relevance comes from consistency. I get people that hit me up still on Facebook. Hey, are you still at Nissan? Shout out to Woodbury Nissan, home with a repeat customer. I haven't been there in over 10 years, but I was consistent in my posting, consistent. Branding has to be consistent. There's nothing more cringe to me, to use a word that the younger generation uses, nothing more cringe than when you look at a business's social media page, and let's say they posted 3 hours ago. Then you look at the post before that, and it was like 3 days ago. And the one before that was like 3 weeks ago. And before that was 6 months ago. And then it was like 2 years. I know what you're doing. If you don't take enough time to consistently post on social media, it takes you 3 seconds. How can I ever trust, if I'm a customer, you'll take time to really thoroughly take me through this sales process and care about my needs? You don't even care about your own. You don't even care about branding yourself. And you're going to worry about taking care of me as a customer? Consistency. That's how you stay relevant. Don't be a billboard, guys. Don't set it and forget it. We shouldn't be posting and just setting it there and just thinking people are going to start firing DMs, calling our phone or knocking on our door, coming to our business. Hey, I saw your post. No. Don't be a billboard, right? A billboard, you just drive by. It's a one-way conversation, them to you. Don't be a billboard. Aim for engagement. Prompt responses. Post questions that will warrant answers. How about trivia questions? Holidays come up. How about trivia questions? First person to answer the trivia question, correctly gets X amount of dollars off of their next vehicle, gets a free oil change, gets this, gets that, whatever it may be. How about our dealerships looking for said vehicles between the years X and Y under X amount of miles? If you are driving one of those vehicles, please post a picture of it for me or DM me. I'll give you an obligation-free appraisal of your vehicle. We're looking to buy back cars. Guys, if they post the car, there's interest. There's interest. Unless they're like flexing the vehicle they drive, which is great too. But I'm starting a conversation. Start conversations and understand the ROI, guys. Just because you post something on social media this morning doesn't mean that post is going to generate business for you today. It's consistency, top of mind awareness. So when they're ready, they remember you, they remember your post. And you're going to catch them on a day when they're in that buying or that shopping spirit. Rainy day, they're sitting on their couch, day off, scrolling on the gram. Who do they see? Pistol Pete. Who do they see in the book? Pistol Pete. Who do they see? They see one of you on there, and they go, you know what? I always see this guy posting. I always see this girl posting. They must be about their business. Let me reach out to them. Understand the ROI. It's the long game we're playing, guys. Guys, quick thought, and then we're going to wrap up. The end of the month, typically a busier time in the car business. If you were in one of my meetings during the day this week, you've heard this. Busier time, end of the month. Busier than the beginning of the month. Why is that, though? Why is it? Did prices drop at the end of the month? I mean, sticker prices were the same. Did rates go down? Not that I heard of. They might even go up again. Trading values go up? Absolutely not. So why were more people buying cars? Because a good deal is a state of mind. It's a matter of perception. They felt our end of the month energy, the sense of urgency we create. They felt it. They know that inherently built into this thing we do, the best time to buy is the end of the month, but nothing changed. And yet we're selling more cars. Keep that energy right now when we get off this webinar. Take it with you every single day of the month, no matter what day it is. If it's the 1st through the 10th, guess what? Today's the 10th. We have a fast start program going on right now in our dealership. We got to sell a ton of cars by the end of the day, By the end of the day today, we got dealer cash in house. It's use it or lose it. We got to use it up. First come, first serve. So we're making deals right now, even better than the end of the month, even better than the end of the month. Create a sense of urgency, not only with your words, but with your energy and your mindset. Customers are buying. They're always buying. It's a matter of us to sell them. We got to sell them. We got to sell them. Roll up your sleeves. There's a reason why they close at the end of the month at a higher rate and we sell more cars. It's because it's all mental. It's all mental between us and between them. And guys, I'm going to share a quote with you. I love this quote. I heard it this week for the first time. If you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, you saw that I posted a reaction video to it. Now more than ever, positive affirmations, it's a buzz term. Everybody's screaming their affirmations, posting them on social media. And albeit important, the law of attraction is a real thing. I write my affirmations every single morning in my journal. But speaking your affirmations alone is not going to get the job done. I feel like sometimes that's laziness. Sometimes people want to speak about their affirmations, talk the talk, so they don't actually have to put in the work and walk the walk. They think by just saying it, it's going to make it happen. Alex Hormozy said this quote, and I really love it. He's the guy on social media. I don't know if you've ever seen him. He's got like the black tape on his nose, kind of longer hair, baseball cap, kind of jacked up. Very intelligent guy. I'm excited to watch more of his content. But he said, you don't become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Outwork your self-doubt. You don't become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Outwork your self-doubt. Our goal should be for today, for tomorrow, for the rest of this week and month, and for the rest of this year and our life, let's make our words and our actions match. Make sure your actions match your words, and then wait till you see the magic that happens for you. All right, guys, thanks so much for hopping on. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. I'm super grateful for you guys being here and your commitment to excellence. I'm humbled by you. I'm inspired by you. I admire you. And this is just the beginning of our journey. Our next webinar, guys, is going to be Friday, December 8th. So we got about a month from now, Friday, December 8th. Please reach out to me. I want to talk about some of the things you want to talk about on the next webinar. I may throw a little curveball. We may do it on a Zoom type format. I'm not sure yet. It's going to be coming soon, but I might give you a sneak peek to our Zoom format where we're going to have live open discussion. That'll be part of our university package once we come to market with that. Throw me some ideas. I want to talk about what you want to talk about. Send me questions, post on my page, DM me, text me, email me, whatever it is, and we're going to go over it. Keep an eye out for our training tips, guys. I email you guys almost every day. Training videos, training tips. Keep an eye out and check us out on social media. Like I said, fall time right now. We just started filming our university. Super excited about that. We got formal Zoom trainings coming up. And anybody on this webinar right now, any dealers that are on these webinars, I don't forget where I came from. I never will. We got some early bird opportunities for you to get in at the ground level and take advantage of something that I may not be able to offer. Definitely not for too long as we continue to grow together. Q&A, guys, shoot me some DMs, shoot me some messages, drop them in the chat here, hit me up. I'll answer all of them. And don't forget to click that link in the chat for your free one-on-one sales training. First 5 will get it. I'm going to send an email out in a little bit. I want to hear your feedback, guys. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you didn't like. Tell me what you want to see more of. I'll take all suggestions into consideration to try to accommodate everyone. I'm going to see you on December 8th. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a valued member of our Wolf Pack. It's our Wolf Pack. It's not mine. It's ours. I love all you guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for coming on, and I'll see you guys on December 8th. Brizzy. Who we got on here? Who we got on here? Charles, if you could save the chat for me, this way I can go through it, that would be great. What's up, Dom? How do we wet the shirts? Well, you gotta pour the water bottle on them, Joe. You pour the water bottle. Is that Joe Q or Joe Rizzi? How do you get the shirts? I'm getting some shirts made. Just love you too, bro. Love you. I always commend them on how well they are prepared. Hell yeah, Just. You got to commend them. You got to commend them. And what that does is, it takes what they see in their mind, that weapon of being prepared. See, they look at being prepared as their weapon to aim at you. But if you congratulate them and commend them on that, now the weapon turns into a tool. You put the safety back on the gun, right? You put the safety back on the gun. Now they're going to use that tool with you to help make the deal happen. So that's a great point. Bang, bang, Pistol Pete. Get him, Pete. Zay, what up, bro? That's not comfortable. Free Andres. Cool. Thanks, bro. Randy. It can be easy. Ask for Rizzy. It can be easy. Have a great weekend, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Of course. My pleasure for shouting you out. Large, not extra small. This is a medium, Joe Q. This is medium. Yeah, I see. Point that guy. That's right. That's right. Point it right back at him. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thanks for hopping on, guys. I love all you guys. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to get that feedback form sent to you. You guys are awesome. I hope you enjoyed it. And I look forward to obviously seeing all of you guys in the store and on Zoom and on here very soon. I will be in a dealership tomorrow all day, so I'm ready. I'm ready for that. Time to hunt, Wolfpack. Peace.